Today's systems are nowhere near AGI. That's the line that might catch you off guard, not because it came from a random skeptic, but because it came from Demis Hassabis, the CEO of Google DeepMind.
Today's systems, in my opinion, are nowhere near that. Doesn't matter how many, ERDOS problems you solve, which for some reason, it's good that we're doing those things, but I think it's far, far from what, a true invention or someone like a Ramanujan would have been able to do. And you need to have a system that can potentially do that across all these domains.
Now, Demis Hassabis has been one of the clearest voices on this when it comes to AGI, and his view is basically that current AI is pretty powerful, but it's still missing the key ingredients. And he's described AGI as a system that can show the full range of human cognitive abilities, not just perform well on narrow tasks or produce impressive answers in a chat window. Now, I think this statement is hitting really hard because of the recent things that have happened. I mean, recently we thought that we had crossed certain lines in many different fields, and many people online right now are saying that AGI has basically arrived. But Demis Hassabis is saying that, look, the bar is higher. It's not enough for a model to be impressive. It has to be broadly capable, reliable, creative, and do more than respond well when humans give it a task. And that's the difference between the AI hype cycle and the AGI question. The hype cycle asks, what amazing things did we get done this week? And the AGI question asks, can this system actually match the range of full human intelligence? And according to Demis Hassabis, the answer is still no. Now, the reason this clip has been going viral and there's been discussions online is because OpenAI announced a major result in mathematics. OpenAI said one of its internal models disproved a central conjecture in discrete geometry connected to the planar unit distance problem, a question first posed by Paul Erdos in 1946. When you think about it, this is a pretty huge deal. OpenAI said the model produced a proof that was later checked by external mathematicians, and a human-verified version of the result appeared in a companion paper. But here we have Demis Hassabis saying that that kind of result, although it's impressive, it doesn't automatically equal AGI. A model can still make progress on a hard math problem and still not be general intelligence. It can be brilliant in one area and still lack other forms of reasoning, creativity, memory planning, and real-world understanding. And that's why the Erdos story should be treated as evidence of progress, not proof that the destination has been reached. It does tell us that AI is getting much stronger. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell us that the AGI debate is over. Now, when we think about where we are when it comes to AGI, the honest answer is that we're in a strange middle stage. AI is no longer just autocomplete. The line is kind of outdated. These models can write code, help with research, summarize complex documents, reason through your business problems, generate video, draft legal language. There are so many different things it can do. But at that same time, they're still not fully reliable. They still hallucinate, they still fail in strange ways, they still need careful prompting, they still struggle with long-term autonomy, and they still do not have stable memory, real agency, or a grounded model that the world in the way that humans do. And this is why the current moment is so confusing. If you compare today's AI to old software, it looks like science fiction. But if you compare it to true AGI, it still looks incomplete. And that's the gap that people are missing. Now, Gary Marcus has made the opposite argument from the AGI hype crowd. He said the current situation is not AGI, and he's actually pointed to the strange model behavior, including the example of systems inserting words like goblins into random places. You see here from this tweet, he says, what I'm about to describe ain't AGI, it's a sign of $1 trillion train wreck. If I told you that in 2022 that the 2026 version of GPT, which by the way would only be GPT 5.5 and not GPT 6 or 7 like many people fantasize about, would still have strange quirks like inserting the word goblins in random places, all of you would have called me crazy or a hater or both. Scaling, you would have shouted. Deep learning is conquering the walls, you would have said. And yet here we are. OpenAI can't even align the systems well enough to get them to stop talking about goblins without putting a bunch of utterly hacky goblin-specific crud in their system prompts like, and I'm not making this up, never talk about goblins, gremlins, raccoons, trolls, ogres, pigeons, or other animal creatures unless it is relevant to the user's query. And it goes on here to say, meanwhile, this nonsense varies by persona, and across all datasets in the audit, the nerdy personality reward showed a clear tendency to score outputs to the same problem with goblin or gremlin higher than outputs without, with positive uplift in 76.2% of datasets. Instead of actual computer science, we are left with alchemy. We might as well be chanting magic incantations. Good luck solving AI safety with this tech. Now, the point that Gary Marcus is making here is that this isn't really about goblins. The point is that the current AI can be very smart in one moment and weirdly broken in another. And that matters because AGI should not be just about peak performance, it should also be about consistency. If a model can help with advanced maths but still needs hidden instructions to avoid strange behavior, that kind of tells us something, okay? And it tells us that these systems are powerful but not fully understood. It tells us that they can produce high quality outputs, but they still have failure modes that feel unpredictable. And that is why people use the term jagged intelligence. AI can be far above humans at some tasks and surprisingly weak at others. The New York Times described this as one of the reasons that the AGI debate is hard to frame properly. So, I mean, when you look at the article here, it says the performance of these systems varies and it is not easy to tell when they will fail to do a human level task. The term jagged intelligence was coined by Andrej Karpathy, one of the founding researchers at OpenAI and the former head of self-driving technology at Tesla, and one of the most closely watched commentators on the rise of AI. Some things work extremely well by human standards, while some things fail catastrophically. And that's what he wrote on 2024, and it won't always be obvious which is which. And he said, this is, different from the human brain, where a lot of knowledge and problem-solving capabilities are all highly correlated and improve linearly together from birth to adulthood. But when you actually think about this, we shouldn't pretend that the pro-AGI side don't have a complete case. When we think about individuals who state that AGI is here, they do have some credible talking points. Mark Andreessen reportedly told Joe Rogan that he thinks AGI effectively already arrived. His argument is that the latest frontier models now give him better answers than almost any expert he could call across fields like medicine, law, coding, finance, politics, and business. That's a serious argument because for most people, that is what general intelligence looks like in daily life. If you could ask one system about almost anything and it gives you strong answers, it feels general. That's why it feels like a line has been crossed. That's why the debate is no longer simple. The AGI is here crowd is not just pointing at toy demos, they are pointing at real usefulness. They are pointing at the fact that these tools already changing coding, research, education, and business. But Demis is judging by a higher standard. He is not asking whether AI can be useful across many tasks, he is asking whether it has the full range of cognitive abilities that humans have. He's asking whether it can invent, plan, reason, and operate with deep reliability, and that is a much harder bar. I saw this tweet, and this tweet is also very valid, okay? And this is the counter argument to the fact that AGI is not here. So Nick Carter's argument is really important because he essentially says that it's weak to dismiss AI because the intelligence is jagged. He points that if we think about this like realistically, if any human could write production-based code, pass difficult exams, write high-level papers, build financial models, draw diagrams, write poetry, help solve major math problems, we would call that person a genius. And that's pretty fair. If a human had the combined abilities of the best AI models, nobody would casually dismiss them. We would say that they are one of the most capable people alive. But the problem is that AI is not human. It has strengths and weaknesses, and those strengths and weaknesses don't work like human strengths and weaknesses. A human forgetting a name is not the same as a model inventing a fake source. A human being awkward in conversation is not the same as a system failing because the prompt changed slightly. That is the important distinction. Current AI can look human level or superhuman in a chat window, but AGI in the stronger sense means more than producing genius level outputs. It means having stable general capability that still transfers across multiple situations, which still isn't settled. I mean, Helen Toner probably has one of the best framing for all of this. She argues that the term AGI has become almost useless because different people mean different things by it. Some people mean expert level chatbots, some people mean autonomous researchers, some people mean a system that can replace knowledge workers, some people mean conscious machines, some mean recursive self-improvement. And that's why the debate doesn't really make sense. It's just messy. When one person says AGI is here, they might mean it can now do expert level digital work. When another person hears that, they might think that it means that the machine can fully replace humans across the real world, and those are not the same claim. Helen's point that if we are now inside an AGI-ish cloud, some definitions have already been met, other definitions are still far away. So the better question is it AGI? That's not the better question. The better question is which capabilities are here and which ones are still missing. And that kind of fits perfectly with Demis Hassabis' statement, where he's basically saying that yes, the systems are impressive, but the missing capabilities still matter. And of course, we have Yann LeCun saying that people are starting to realize that AI is nowhere near human intelligence and learning abilities, yet they have become very useful by compensating for their lack of common sense, lack of understanding of reality, and limited reasoning and planning abilities by the accumulation of enormous amounts of declarative knowledge. Now, I also found this statement by Demis Hassabis where he actually a little bit contradicts himself here.
Talking a lot about, obviously, AGI being on the horizon. I think we are only a few years away now from the full version of that. And the singularity is a kind of good word, I think, to describe the era that is precipitated by a technology like AGI arriving on the scene. And partly it's because it's going to be so transformative, I think the most important invention ever, that it's hard to make many predictions beyond that horizon because it will change so much. So, and I think this year with the agentic systems that we're all seeing and using, I think we can start feeling it now. And that's what I was sort of meaning by that. When we look back, I think in 5-10 years time, I think we'll sort of see as like, oh yes, 2026, 27 is sort of when it was starting.
So if you're wondering what is actually missing from AGI, well, first you have long-term reliability. Models need to perform well, not just once, but again and again across messy, diverse tasks. Second, you've got autonomy. A model that answers questions well is not the same as a system that can plan, execute, check its work, and recover from mistakes over long periods. And third, you have memory. Current systems still don't have human-like continuous memory streams. They can use context windows and external tools, but it's not the same as a stable, lived understanding of the world. Fourth, grounded reasoning. Systems often reason well through text, but they don't understand the world in the full human sense. And the fifth, true invention. This is the Demis Hassabis point. AGI should not just solve tasks we hand it, it should be able to generate original ideas, ask important questions, and create new frameworks at the highest level. That is why nowhere near doesn't mean nothing is happening. It just still means the missing pieces are not small details. They're pretty central to the whole AGI claim. Now, the danger that people hear is that AGI is nowhere near and think they can ignore it. That's a huge mistake. Even if Demis Hassabis is right, current AI is still powerful enough to change industries. It's already changing how people code, write, research, learn, create content, and run businesses. The fact that it is not AGI doesn't make it unimportant. But the opposite mistake is also dangerous. If people hear AI solved a hard math problem and immediately think this is AGI, they might trust these systems a little bit too much. They may put them into high-stakes roles before they're ready. That is why this debate matters. It's not just a word game. It affects how companies deploy AI, how governments regulate it, and how investors value AI companies, and how ordinary people decide what to trust. Demis is essentially trying to force a more careful conversation. He's saying that we should be amazed by what these systems can do, but more honest about what they still can't do. So when you think about all of this, Demis is not saying AI is weak. He's saying that AGI is a pretty high bar, much higher than the internet wants it to be. The OpenAI math result is a major breakthrough. The latest models are clearly more capable than anything we had a few years ago. And Mark Andreessen is not crazy for saying they feel general in practice. And Nick Carter isn't crazy for saying that we would call a human with these abilities a genius. But Gary Marcus is also not crazy for pointing out the weird failures, and Helen Toner is not crazy for saying that the term AGI has become too fuzzy. So when we think about it, where we are right now in the AI timeline, we are not at zero, but we're also not at the finish line. We're somewhere in the kind of comfortable middle, where the models are powerful enough to change the world, but not reliable enough to be treated as true general intelligence. And that's probably the most important point, because if everyone waits for one clear AGI moment, they might miss the transformation that is already happening. But if you already pretend the transformation is already complete, you might trust systems that still have those major gaps. So no, AGI isn't here, at least not in the strong Demis Hassabis sense, but the reason this debate is still happening tells you everything you need to know. AI has become powerful enough that serious people are now arguing over where the line is.